beneath the rolling misty hills of ancient Europe, among sacred groves where oak trees whispered to the wind, there existed a brotherhood cloaked in secrecy, power, and mystery. They were the Druids, guardians of knowledge so profound that even Rome, the mightiest empire of its age, both feared and sought to destroy them. Yet, despite centuries of conquest, despite the fires that consumed their altars and the silence of their unwritten words, their secrets refused to die. What hidden knowledge did the Druids truly guard? And why does their memory continue to haunt history with questions unanswered? Tonight, we step into the shadows of time to uncover the forbidden mysteries of the Druids. The first thing you must understand is that the Druids left behind no books, no scrolls, no carved tablets to tell us who they were. Everything we know comes from outsiders, Roman generals who saw them as enemies, Christian scribes who painted them as pagans, and scattered legends passed down by whisper and song. But in this silence lies their power. Because if knowledge was never written, it could never be stolen. It could only live in memory, carried by chosen voices. And those voices belonged to the Druids. They were the priests, the judges, the healers, and the philosophers of the Celtic world. To their people, they were keepers of the sacred order, interpreters of the gods, and guardians of wisdom older than Rome, older than Greece, perhaps even older than history itself. Imagine standing in a sacred grove as dawn breaks, the air thick with incense, the oak leaves trembling as if listening to a secret. A druid raises his arms, chanting in a language long lost, the smoke curling upward toward the sky as if carrying messages to unseen realms. To the people, he was not merely a man, but a bridge between the mortal and the divine. And to the Romans who marched into Celtic lands, he was a threat unlike any army. Julius Caesar himself, in his commentaries, described the Druids with a mix of fascination and fear. He claimed they studied the stars, the movements of the heavens, the power of the earth, and the mysteries of the soul. He said they believed in the immortality of the spirit, that death was only a passage, not an end. For warriors, this belief was terrifyingly powerful. If life did not end with the sword, what could Rome use to conquer a people who did not fear death? But Caesar's words only scratched the surface. Beneath the Roman accounts lies something stranger, something more enigmatic. The Druids were said to have mastered not only philosophy, but nature itself. They knew the secrets of herbs and potions, remedies that could heal or kill. They were astronomers who tracked the cycles of the moon, predicting eclipses and marking sacred times when the veil between worlds grew thin. Some say they even knew the ley lines of the earth, those invisible rivers of energy that connect ancient monuments. From Stonehenge to faraway sacred sites, did they tap into powers now forgotten? Were they guarding an ancient science lost to us, or were they wielding something far more mystical? Legends whisper of human sacrifices carried out in hidden groves, lives offered to appease gods older than memory. The Romans claimed they burned victims in colossal wicker men, towering figures filled with the condemned. But was this propaganda meant to demonize them, or a glimpse into rituals too dark to comprehend? Some scholars argue the image of the wicker man was exaggerated, a Roman invention to justify conquest. Others believe it was a terrifying truth, a blood price for secret knowledge that demanded more than prayers. Either way, the Druids remain painted in shadows. Mystics, whose ceremonies were hidden from the uninitiated, mysteries meant only for those chosen to know. And what of their most sacred sites? Stone circles, hill forts, groves untouched by plough or stone, where they performed rites beneath the stars. The connection between Druids and Stonehenge has long been debated. Though the stones themselves predate the Druids by thousands of years, many believe these ancient priests adopted the monument as a sacred place, using its alignment with the solstices for rituals of light and shadow. Picture midsummer sunrise piercing between the stones, a shaft of light cutting through darkness as chants rise from robed figures. Were they simply honoring the sun, or channeling something deeper, cosmic forces tied to the very fabric of time? But perhaps the greatest secret of the Druids was their memory. In a world where writing was spreading across civilizations, the Druids forbade it. Their teachings were oral, preserved through years of training, chants, and recitation. It is said a Druid student might study for 20 years before being entrusted with the full weight of their knowledge. Imagine the discipline required, the secrets carried in living minds across generations. By rejecting the written word, they ensured that their wisdom could never be captured by conquerors or twisted by enemies. But it also meant that with their destruction, much of their knowledge dissolved into silence. What secrets perished with them? Could they have held truths about the origins of humanity, hidden sciences, or spiritual paths now lost forever? If you've journeyed with me this far into the heart of mystery, I want to invite you to pause for a moment. If these forgotten secrets of the Druids fascinate you as much as they fascinate me, make sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think the Druids truly knew? And don't forget to subscribe to Mysteries of Time. Your support helps us continue to explore the forgotten corners of history, where mystery still lingers. Now, let's return to the shadows. Some believe the Druids held forbidden knowledge of the afterlife, that they could commune with the spirits of the dead. Celtic myths speak of the otherworld, a place of eternal youth, endless feasts, and divine wisdom. Was this simply mythology, or did the Druids truly know how to cross between realms? Shrouded in mist, the boundary between worlds was said to weaken during Samhain, what we now call Halloween. At that time, the Druids lit great bonfires, not merely to ward off the cold, but to guide spirits through the veil. Imagine the night air glowing with firelight, figures dancing in shadow, whispers of the dead carried on the wind. Was this ritual mere superstition, or could they really pierce the barrier between life and death? Even more mysterious are the claims of their power over kings. No ruler in the Celtic world could hold power without the blessing of the Druids. They advised leaders, interpreted omens, and held the authority to crown or curse. In some tales, a king who defied the Druids would wither, his land falling into famine as though nature itself obeyed their command. Were they simply master psychologists wielding influence through belief? Or did they truly command forces we can scarcely imagine today? And then there are whispers of something even greater, the possibility that the Druids were heirs to an even older tradition, stretching back to forgotten civilizations. Some researchers speculate that their knowledge was a fragment of a prehistoric wisdom that built megaliths across the world, from Britain to Egypt. Could the Druids have been inheritors of a legacy of lost science, passed down through secret initiations, preserved in chants and rituals beneath ancient oaks? If so, the silence of their unwritten record becomes not a weakness, but the greatest secret of all. Yet, despite Rome's efforts to erase them, despite centuries of silence, the Druids are not forgotten. Their image lingers in the mists of folklore, in the strange alignments of ancient stones, in the whispers of myths that refuse to fade. Perhaps their greatest power was not in the secrets they kept, but in the questions they left behind, because mystery itself is immortal. And so, as the firelight dies and the night closes in, we are left with only echoes. What did the Druids truly know? Did they guard forbidden sciences or divine mysteries that could shake the very foundation of the world? Perhaps the truth lies buried beneath the soil of Europe or hidden in legends waiting to be rediscovered. Until then, the Druids remain the guardians of a silence that speaks louder than words. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of history's most haunting enigmas. If the secrets of the Druids stirred your imagination, you'll want to continue exploring with us. On Mysteries of Time, we dive into the untold stories of lost civilizations, forbidden archaeology, and dark mysteries that history tried to bury. Watch our other videos and step with us into the shadows of time, because the past is never truly gone, and its secrets are waiting for those brave enough to seek them.